There's a monster lurking inside the machines. It's not Skynet. It's not killer robots. It's something far more dangerous because it's invisible. We are currently witnessing the birth of a new disease, a plague not of the body, but of the mind. In 2024, researchers at Oxford and Cambridge discovered a mathematical inevitability that is terrifying the AI industry. They call it model collapse. Here's the reality. When artificial intelligence runs out of human data, it begins to train on its own output. Like a snake eating its own tail, the data becomes inbreeding. Intelligence declines. Creativity dissolves into a gray, mediocre sludge. But here's the shocker. This isn't just happening to machines. It's happening to us. Welcome to the era of digital inbreeding.
To understand why our creativity is dying, we must first look at the machines of our new world. Generative AI, ChatGPT, Midjourney, Claude, works on a principle called probabilistic determinism. It doesn't know the truth. It predicts the next possible token. It's a statistical parrot. For the past decade, these models have been fed by the organic web, the sum total of human history, art, and literature created by people living real lives. But that era is over. By 2026, over 90% of online content will be synthetically generated. The circle has closed. The models are now eating their own vomit. Shumailov's study proves that this causes an irreversible flaw in the resulting models. They lose the edges of the distribution, the rare, the weird, the genius. They converge on the average. This is the gray goo scenario. But the danger isn't that AI becomes dumber. The danger is that we are changing the way our brains work to fit these machines. A landmark study, The Effects of Generative AI on Design Fixation, found that when humans use AI to brainstorm, their ideas become less original and less diverse. We are outsourcing what makes us human, the struggle to create.
Let's zoom in on biological hardware, our brains. Neuroscience tells us that intelligence isn't static, it depends on use. Intelligence operates on the principle of use it or lose it neuroplasticity. When we use a GPS, our hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for spatial navigation, literally shrinks. Now apply this to creativity. When we ask a command to write a script or design a logo, we bypass the neural circuitry of divergent thinking. We miss the cognitive load necessary to form new synaptic connections. A 2025 study titled From Tools to Threats identified a new condition, AI chatbot-induced cognitive atrophy, or AICA. Researchers observed decreased activity in the prefrontal cortex, the brain's CEO, when users rely too heavily on AI assistance. You feel efficient, but you become empty. This is the cognitive atrophy paradox. The easier the tool, the weaker its user. We are becoming a civilization of instant engineers, people who know how to ask questions, but have forgotten how to think.
This is not just a technological crisis. It is a spiritual catastrophe. 700 years ago, the great historian Ibn Khaldun wrote the Muqaddimah. In it, he described the cycle of civilizational collapse. He noted that when a society stops innovating and begins merely imitating, Taqlid, the dominant structure, it loses asabiya, its vital energy. In Islamic philosophy, There is a profound distinction between aql, intellect, and taqlid, blind imitation. Aql comes from the root word aqala, to bind, to shackle. It is the active restraint of the mind from understanding the truth. This requires effort. It requires tadabbur, deep contemplation. AI is the ultimate taqlid machine. It cannot self-reflect. It cannot contemplate. It can only imitate the past. When we surrender our minds to algorithms, we commit spiritual suicide. We exchange our own fitra, our innate God-given originality, for statistical probability. We become digital mushrik, giving the attribute of creator, al-khaliq, to machines that can only copy. The result? A culture of zombie ideas, content that seems alive but lacks soul, architecture that seems complex but lacks meaning, theology that sounds profound but lacks wisdom.
So, are we going to destroy the machines? Are we going to become Luddites? No, that's reactionary. The strategist doesn't retreat, he adapts. To survive in the age of model collapse, we must be the exception. We must be the data point that AI cannot predict. Here's the protocol. Analog resistance. We must spend at least 2 hours a day in deep work with no digital assistance whatsoever. No AI, no Google, just a call, just us and the problem. This rewires the prefrontal cortex. Consume key principles. Stop reading summaries. Stop reading AI-generated articles. Go to primary sources. Read studies, not tweets. Read scripture, not blog posts. Seek friction. Creativity is born from struggle. If the answer comes instantly, it's not insight, it's a cliché. Embrace the friction of not knowing. The machines will inherit the average. They will conquer the middle of the bell curve. But the edges, the peaks of genius, the depths of wisdom, those belong to the man who dares to fight. The snake may eat its own tail, but the eagle still flies alone. Logic and light are here. Wake up.